There's plenty of it. It's relatively cheap or even free. It's environmentally friendly. It looks great. It's warm and cozy. It's super strong. It lasts hundreds or even thousands of years, and you can use it for everything from building bridges to making paper or heating your home. I'm talking about wood, and it's quite possibly the most useful and versatile material on the planet, with many thousands of different uses. So what is it that makes wood so good?
Now, you may have heard the saying that money doesn't grow on trees. Well, in fact, in the wood industry, money really does grow on trees. Welcome to another edition of Bazaar, everyone. Today, we will explore the wood industry and some of its related trades. We will also visit a company whose entire business relies on wood and its craft. And through this company's activities, we will present an overview of the wood products markets. Enough talk, let's get to it.
We arrived at Pak Tube Company in Semnan province. This company predominantly makes home furniture such as bedroom sets, sofas and dining tables. But this woodworking company also makes kitchen cabinets, shelves and TV units, among other decorative items. This company first began its work as a small wood shop in 1980 in Tehran. Throughout its decades of activity, the company grew into what it is today.
توی این مجموعه حدود 80 نفر مشغول به کار هستن با تخصص‌های مختلف که به این شکل که ما تنه درخت رو که اصطلاحاً بهش میگیم گرده وارد این کارخونه میشه و تمام مراحل همینجا انجام میشه، هم از ساخت اسکلت که حالا دو بخشه، هم اسکلت چوب و فلز داریم، هم اسکلت تمام چوب. رنگ‌آمیزی همینجا انجام میشه، قسمت روکش پارچه همینجا انجام میشه. این هم توسط استادکارای خوبی که سرپرستای خوبی که توی این مجموعه مشغول به کار هستن.
This firm is a member of Tehran Carpentry and Furniture Association. It might be interesting to know that the customers of this company are not only domestic users, but also hotels and offices. The raw material used for the production of furniture arrives at this facility in the form of raw tree logs. These logs are then cut into the desired sizes. After the logs are cut, they go through a process of drying and crude shaping.
یک سری چوبارمونو چوبای وارداتی هست، تهیه میکنیم از بازار. یک سری چوبا رو به صورت گردبینه یا همون تنه درخت میگیریم، توسط اره رام اینا رو تبدیل به تخته میکنیم که میمونه حالا در فضای آزاد با طول مدت بیشتری رطوبتش از دست میده و به اون رطوبت استاندارد زیر 15% میرسه که ما بتونیم ازش استفاده بکنیم. کارا قالب گیری میشه، اصطلاحاً قالب‌های مختلف رو روی کارا میارن، میبریم. قطعات که آماده شد میره برای قسمت پرداخت. بعد از اون ما میایم داخل سالن‌های مونتاژمون. هر قسمتی، حالا هر یک از پرسنل زحمتکش کارخونه ما مسئول این هستن که یه مدل مبلی رو یا یک مدل محصولی رو اینا رو تو هم بکنن، اصطلاحاً کلافش بکنن و تبدیلش کنن به محصول نهایی. و محصول نهایی مبلمانمون که آماده میشه انتقال پیدا میکنه برای قسمت رنگ و پارچه.
Once the moisture has been reduced in the wood, it is then ready to be further cut into smaller units. The machines and equipment used at this vast facility are modern. Many of the machines are able to cut multiple pieces of wood simultaneously to exact measurements and specifications. After the components of a furniture unit are cut, they are then refined and assembled to make the furniture frame. Various parts of the furniture, such as the decorative armrests and legs of sofas, are carved into beautiful and stylish designs, either by hand or with the use of a machine. Basically, the intended design is fed to the machine via software, and the machine carries out the design on the wood. A lot of the assembly work from here is done by hand. Woodworking is definitely a handcraft which requires a lot of attention to detail and accuracy in order to produce high-quality items.
Now, furniture design itself is an art, and there are many furniture designers in Iran. When you imagine furniture, you probably think of something that is made of wood. And you'd be right, because that is the most popular and adaptable material used to make these items. But of course, furniture can be made with various materials such as steel, fiberglass, foam, and fabrics used as basic materials to create these items.
There are numerous types of wood that can be used for furniture. Some manufacturers use cherry wood or oak wood for dining tables and other items such as bookshelves. This company imports a majority of its wood for its uses. A small percentage of wood is purchased domestically.
مثلا ما رنگو از کارخونه ها میخریم. خب قطعا اونا یه بخش از ترکیباتشون وارداتیه. یا اسفنج رو از کارخونه هایی که میخریم باز اونها یه بخش از موادشون وارداتیه. خیلی ابزارهای داریم که مثل فرز، مثل تیغ‌های مصرفی یا متاهای CNC، اینها همه وارداتیه. خب کامپیوترها و وسایلی که روی دستگاه CNC کار میکنه که کلاً وارداتیه. نوار ارم وارداتیه و وابستگی داریم. البته میشه کالاهایی تولید کرد که وابستگی نداشته باشه، ولی شاید مشتری پسند نکنه.
Once the skeleton of the furniture item is assembled and is set to dry, it undergoes another process. At this stage, the frames are moved to a different floor where the wood frames are sanded and further refined in preparation for upholstering and painting.
البته الان اخیراً پارچه‌های خوبی در یزد تولید میشه که حتی از این وارداتی‌های چینی بهتره. از وارداتی چینی بهتره، چون پارچه‌های چینی عموماً نانوه دیگه، اصلا نخ و پشم و کلک و اینا درش به کار نرفته. ولی پارچه‌های ایرانی هنوز اینا رو داره و طبیعت گرمتری داره برای استفاده کردن و طرح‌هاش هم قشنگه. ما استفاده می‌کنیم از این پارچه‌های یزدی.
This company has the ability to manufacture dozens of furniture items each day. With its skilled woodcraftsmen and upholsters, as well as experienced personnel, this company offers high-quality and stylish items in the domestic market. Its sales agents can be found in Tehran and all across the country.
بازار به ما فرمون میده که مثلا الان چی رو مردم دوست دارن، چی رو میخرن، چه مدلی رو. مبل تک میخوان بخرن، با سرویس با ناهارخوری میخوان. ما بر اساس نگاه به بازار میکنیم که هر چقدر که بازار رو هر کالایی که بیشتر اونها رقیب باشه، مایل به خرید باشن، ما هم سعی میکنیم همونها رو تولید بکنیم و الا دست اون بازه. ما امکانات تولید هر نوع کالایی رو تو زمینه صنایع چوبی داریم.
محصولات ما هم توی مجموعه پاکشوب استاندارد ملی مبلمان رو داریم. تقریبا الان 4 ساله که روی این استاندارد داریم کار میکنیم. استاندارد ایزو 9001 رو داریم و خوشبختانه 2 سال پیش هم تونستیم استاندارد CE اتحادیه اروپا رو بگیریم. یعنی کالاهایی که ما تولید میکنیم اگر شرایطش فراهم بشه خیلی راحت وارد اتحادیه اروپا میشه و میتونن استفاده بکنن.
There are actually hundreds of different species of trees, so making generalizations about something called wood isn't always that helpful. Balsa wood is different from oak, which isn't quite the same as hazel, and is different again from walnut. Around 85,000 sets of carved furniture are produced in Iran each year, 50,000 of which are produced in Hamadan province. As you can tell, various trees grow better in certain areas in the country.
This province has been known as one of Iran's major furniture manufacturing hubs. With most furniture manufacturing companies, production is based on domestic demand. While a lot of furniture is manufactured domestically in Iran, items from Turkey, Italy, and China can be found in the market. Foreign brands hold about 20% of the domestic market. Based on estimations, just about 7% of the total area of Iran is covered with forests. So a lot of the wood needed for various products has been imported. Certain companies in the wood industry have created projects for tree cultivation in order to reduce reliance on imported raw material. Hundreds of hectares of barren land have been allocated for such projects and have been successful. The trees that are chosen for tree farming are usually fast-growing trees, such as eucalyptus. These trees can grow in very hot climates, are hardy, and don't require a lot of water to grow. While Iran does export its furniture to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Oman, the wood industry is one that hasn't been heavily invested in. Last year, Iran's exports of furniture topped $36 million in the first 9 months. There are well over 100,000 big and small woodworking units active across the country. This industry employs around 8% of the Iranian workforce.
صادرات یک بحثای دیگه‌ای داره که متاسفانه ما کالاهامون یه مقدار گرونتر در میاد نسبت به حالا کسایی که بخوایم تو منطقه خودمون رو باهاشون مقایسه بکنیم، مثل حالا کشور همسایه‌مون ترکیه که اونا هم واقعا تو صنعت مبلمان حرف برای گفتن زیاد دارن، یا چین. ما چون یک سری از محصولاتمون حالا همونجور که قبلا هم اشاره شد، یک سری مواد اولیه ما چه بخوایم چه نخوایم یا خودش یا محصولات بیس و مادری اولش وارداتیه. خب این ارز بهش میخوره و قاعدتاً هزینه از اون چیزی که در کشور ترکیه تولید میشه، چون اونا همه مواد خودشون دارن. یعنی یک رنگ رو ما درست از کارخونه‌های ایرانی میخریم، ولی اونا هم چند تا شاید از جزئاشو از خارج وارد کنن، ولی اونا چون همه رو دارن، در نهایت یه مدل مبلی رو اگر ما تولید کنیم و اونا هم تولید کنن، قاعدتاً ما یه مقدار بالاتر قیمتمون وای میسته. اینم به خاطر همون مطلبی که به شما گفتم.
One of the challenges they face is upgrading the machines and equipment necessary for productions. When the sanctions were reinstated in 2018, many industries felt the effects. While the wood industry in Iran does not fall prey to the sanctions directly, its growth has been impeded by the sanctions in some ways. According to many who are active in this sector, the furniture industry is heavily dependent on the latest technology and equipment. Domestic manufacturers faced many obstacles during the sanctions, which prevented them from importing much-needed technology.
Now, it might be interesting to know that wood is not only used to make home furniture. Iran makes a considerable amount of office furniture as well. Some office furniture is made with solid wood, which can be both beautiful and expensive to purchase. Other office furniture is made from fiberboards that have been covered with a decorative and durable sheets of other materials. Still, other office furniture can be made with a combination of wood, metal, or plastic.
Iran's furniture industry is thriving and has a lot of potential. The sanctions may have helped Iran cope with the commodities slump by giving a much-needed push to diversify its economy. Iran is the third largest economy in the MENA region after Turkey and Saudi Arabia. It has the second largest population of the region after Egypt, with an estimated 82.8 million people. Office furniture exports have reached up to $30 million annually. Most exports of these goods are shipped out to the Arab states of the Persian Gulf and Central Asian countries. According to the Association of Furniture Makers of Iran, there are no exports of these items to Europe yet. However, Iranian home furniture does have its own customers in Europe. Those active in the office furniture manufacturing industry are examining future markets in European countries as they try to navigate the hefty competition in that area.
Wood is a base material for many other processed wood products such as paper and medium-density fiberboards, or MDF, and other fiberboards. These materials are often used to make cabinets and bookshelves, but they are also used as decorative materials in facades of buildings, as well as various cover sheets and many more applications.
Last year, Iran imported a total of 440,000 tons of unprocessed wood, which was worth over $146 million. This reflected an increase of 15% in imports of unprocessed wood compared to 2018. Also in 2019, Iran imported nearly 800,000 cubic meters of MDF boards, which had a value of just under $170 million. While Iran can supply probably the majority of these raw materials for producing items, it does have a limited amount of tree resources, which are rapidly depleting. So, the country and industry workers are willing to purchase raw material in order to add value to it, consequently making a higher profit off of the sales of the final product.
Well, it looks like my good friend and colleague is out there on the field once again, taking us on another adventure. So I will take a break and see you in a bit.
Well, we are back with another adventure. First, I've got some questions for you. What do you do with the boxes that you receive? Or when you receive a gift, what do you do with the gift wrapping? Have you ever stopped to wonder how paper is recycled? I've got some good news for you, because today I'm going to tell you how exactly it is done. But first of all, I have to put my mask on because it smells here. And the reason is the raw material here is nothing but waste, and it smells, right? So, just for the record, don't you even think about visiting a factory like this unless you have some convincing reasons to do so. So the first step of the process is when the waste is fed into a pool and is mixed with water, and the mixture is then called the pulp. Now, I'm joined by Saeed Falahati, the research and development manager of this company, and he's going to tell us more about the process and other things. So my question is, I understand that this company, this factory is located in the northern part of Iran with lush vegetation, and all you see, if you just look around you, you just see trees. But what you do doesn't have anything to do with trees. Is that right?
Yes. شرکت ما به دلیل اهمیت محیط زیست و به جهت حفظ منافع جنگلی نسبت به بازیافت کارخانه‌های باطله اقدام می‌کنه تا هم به حفظ جنگل‌ها کمک کرده باشه، هم باید ایجاد ارزش افزوده برای محصول بی‌ارزش بشه و از ورود حجم زیادی از زباله به منابع معادن زباله‌های مختلفی که در قسمت‌های مختلف تأمین شده جلوگیری بشه. جنبه تولید ما کاغذ بسته‌بندی از طریق بازیافت کارتون‌های باطله هست. کارتون‌های باطله از منابع شهری و از شهرهای مختلف جمع‌آوری میشه به صورت بسته‌بندی یا به صورت پله برای شرکت حمل میشه. اینجا در یک فرآیند مختلفی تبدیل به خمیر کاغذ.
The pulp for paper making may be produced from virgin fiber by chemical or mechanical means, or may be produced by the repulping of paper for recycling. If not recycled, paper production begins with cutting down trees and collecting the logs. And just in case you wonder what kind of trees best suit this purpose, the answer is coniferous trees, such as spruce or fir. The reason for that is the fibers in the pulp of these species are longer, and therefore they make for stronger paper. The logs are then debarked and chopped. Wood chips are subsequently cooked in a chemical solution and are mixed with water to form the virgin pulp. The number of trees and other vegetation cut down in order to make paper is enormous. Paper companies insist that they plant as many new trees as they cut down. Environmentalists, however, contend that the new growth trees, which are so much younger and smaller than what was removed, cannot replace the value of older trees. Efforts to recycle used paper have been effective in at least partially mitigating the need for destruction of woodlands, and recycled paper is now an important ingredient in many types of paper production. This is where it all begins. The pulp at this stage contains 99% water and only 1% fiber. As it travels on this moving belt of fine mesh screening, water is extracted naturally from the pulp and water inside the pulp is sucked out of it. So here the pulp is still wet and fragile, but already exhibiting its most important sheet properties. It now has 80% water and 20% fiber or dry content. So next, the pulp is carried into a press section which squeezes more water out of the paper by pressure as it passes through large rollers to further reduce the percentage to 45 to 55. Moving on to the next part, the paper passes over a series of steam-heated cylinders to remove the remaining water. Now it's time for a sizing press where, depending on the eventual use of the paperboard, some additional materials are added like starch or gums. And because the paper is made wet again, it should be dried again, so that the percentage of water drops to 7% at the end.
And finally, the paper is bound onto large reels and is ready to be shipped to customers and other manufacturers for further processing. Now, I want to round off my description by providing you with some facts about the importance of recycling in protecting our environment. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, the best practice still is to consume less. But just so you know, by recycling a ton of waste paper, we can protect and save the lives of 17 trees. And you should not forget that waste paper accounts for 9% of the total waste produced in cities. So it may smell, it may make you sick, actually the process does. It may be dirty, but it's worth it because it creates jobs and it saves the lives of trees and it also protects the environment. So let's take recycling more seriously.
Now let's take a look at the latest news and trends in the wood industry. As we mentioned earlier in the program, about 7% of the total area of Iran is covered with forests. So the nation's land is limited when it comes to forests, with some 8 million hectares of woods. Forests are valuable for soaking up pollution, and they are home to numerous species of animals that are uniquely native to Iran. But why is the forest area shrinking?
One of the reasons for the degradation of forests in Iran has been forest fires. These fires are often started by negligent visitors to these green areas. Also, uncontainable wildfires have been another cause. Fires have caused many hectares of forest to uncontrollably burn. Another reason, and probably one of the biggest reasons for the destruction of forest habitats, is illegal logging. While these issues are being regulated by a small number of forest protection units, they have been operating with very little budget to control these problems.
According to the Forests, Range and Watershed Management Organization of Iran, the country loses about 12,000 hectares of forest across the country each year. Now, we know some of the causes of shrinking forests, but what are some of the steps that agencies and the government have been taking to restore Iran's green habitat?
Forests play an important role in maintaining biodiversity and vegetation, but they are also significant for mitigated global warming. It takes centuries for forests to grow, and we benefit from their water preservation, soil stabilization, and reducing land erosion. Reforestation has been one of the steps taken by the government and various environmental organizations in order to restore some of the dwindling forest areas.
All right, viewers, that's all the time we have for this edition of the program. It is always exciting for us to read your feedback and hear from your corner of the world. So follow us on our social media platforms and send us a message or a comment about the topic we covered today. I'm Samson Sees. See you next time on Bazaar.